Good afternoon. How are you, Wes?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So I had a few questions that I wanted to ask you. We had spoken at one time when this all started for Bryan, and Bryan had mentioned that you and he had known each other before in a past life or a past existence. And then later on, when we had spoken, and I asked you about Horatio, Harry, you had said that, and I had asked if that was his name, you had said that it was the name that I had given him, just as Wes was the name that Bryan had given you. And those two things seemed just a little bit contradictory to me, and I was just wondering if you could explain how that works.
Bryan and I have known each other many times. Wes is the name he chose to remember me by from that physical reality. There are many names he could call me. Many names you could call Harry. But for whatever reason, you choose those particular names from those particular realities.
We wanted to talk a little bit about people's religious beliefs and their belief structures, and how those they seem to cause people a great deal of resistance and a great deal of problems, for lack of a better word. I'm just wondering if you think that we would all benefit from letting go of those beliefs and concepts of God and
those beliefs of your religious beliefs and your structures, your ideas are important to your society, but you must understand that they have been twisted. Things that have been handed down, much like the telephone game in which the story changes from person to person. So imagine from millions of people over many generations, the story has changed to fit what mankind at that time needs or wants. It is important to remember that many of your stories of gods, many of your stories of past religion are touched by the personality of the physical, and therefore they are manipulated, sometimes mistranslated, but manipulated to control the masses, to benefit what is necessary for that time space. Everything that is written, especially in your history, has been influenced by the physical personalities of those who wrote it, and those who oversaw it. Their beliefs, their ideals were all infused into your history books.
You had commented one day that that there would be upcoming events in our world, in our
you can try.
Well, I was just wondering, when we look at religious teaching, especially Christianity, and I'm sure many of the others, that they speak of last days, a great war, great devastation,
so
and
many
just
times
trials.
as human beings you have misunderstood messages, those messages in which, much like your 2012 belief that the world would end, great disasters and earthquakes, fire, brimstone. You must understand that in most of those, it is not a matter of the world is ending, it is the world is changing. There is a great shift within not only your galaxy, but within your universe during those times. When they speak of end of times, there is always a great battle, there is always a winner and a loser. But in most cases, it has just been misinterpreted. The messages sent, the ideas and thoughts and beliefs brought on by somebody is misinterpreted.
You had commented at the same time that it would be good at those times when you have mentioned upcoming events that a person know where they stand.
Yes.
Can you elaborate just on what you meant by what you meant by where a person stands?
In order for you to succeed in your mind, succeed what you define succeed as, you must have a belief in something. You must know where you stand and what your belief system is, and have a strong one. There are times in your history that the only thing you had was your beliefs, and if you did not stand by them, you did not survive. So, in your physical reality, history repeats itself all the time. You must keep that in mind. Great nations fall, new ones spring up. It is a part of the evolution of your physical reality. So therefore, what we are saying is that you must always know where you stand, what your belief is. Does this make sense to you?
It does. It does. I've also, as I've been looking on the internet lately, been seeing the term New World Order. And
it's always something.
That it's
your one government.
Yeah, it's one
solution.
Government for our planet. Is that something? How do you feel about that?
We have seen many times over races do this. It does not work. But if it is part of your experience, it will happen and it will fail. The world will not end, but things will change, as they always do. We have seen it destroy entire races, so it is a very delicate and volatile situation that you must watch. You must be aware of what goes on around you in your world, and again, you must know where you stand. And that is all we will say about that.
Is there any one religion that holds more truths? That holds more truths than any other? And I ask that mainly because, and I wonder if it's only because of my religious background, there just seems to be something in Christian teachings, a lot of them, a lot of grains of truth that then seem to have been distorted or convoluted in some way.
The only religious truth that exists within your physical reality are your religious beliefs. Those are the only ones that contain truth. And I don't mean you personally. I mean each person out there. You must deduce, you must draw from it and see the truth for yourself. You will know what to believe in. Do not take someone else's word for it. That would be civic. It is your belief that is important. There is no other that is important. There are truths in all religions, and there are lies in all religions. Are you going to allow someone else to tell you what is truth and what is not? I think not. So, it is important that you understand them. If they interest you, study them. If they don't, do not. It is that simple. But the only religious truth is what is in your heart.
We were talking about perhaps posting some of this on YouTube. Is there any in particular message, if we were to do that, that you would like to be in the first message that we put on YouTube?
We would say, know yourself. That's where we would start. Find out who you are. Love yourself. See that person that's in the mirror. That's your center of the universe. Take time to know who you are. And do not let other people tell you who you are. Take time to enjoy this ride. That would be our first message. We have many of them.
Well, we hope to reach out with many of them in the future.
We look forward to it.
As do we. I think let's just wrap it now for Bryan.
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Wes.